All right, we got two more left. Let's talk about bread bags. So bread bags, as well as Ziploc bags, as well as newspaper bags, as well as the wrapping that comes around water bottles, we refer to these as plastic films. Now, some of these you might see a number on. For example, air pillows, the things used in packing. I know the ones that I've gotten from Amazon have a 2 in them, and you might think, oh, that's a triangle and a 2. I can recycle 2s. And your logic's not wrong. However, any kind of film, any kind of light plastic, like plastic bags or produce bags or bread bags, those cannot be recycled in our regular recycling. And this is because it gets caught up in the machinery at the recycling facility. These have to be recycled separately. However, the county and most counties and states don't collect films. What you need to do is actually drop them off at a store. A lot of grocery stores have them. You might see those bins outside of the grocery store. And so what you need to do is you need to collect all those. I personally take a plastic bag. I have it hanging up near my other trashes. And whenever I use any kind of plastic film, Ziploc bags, the film around paper towels, I put that film in that plastic bag. The plastic bag itself is a film. And when it gets full enough, when I go to the grocery store, I just bring that bag with me. And then I deposit it in the plastic film recycling bin. Now, do be wary that plastic film recycling bins in grocery stores are very specifically labeled. Some grocery stores will also have a paper and metal and plastic bottle recycling. That is not the same as film recycling. Film recycling will specifically say film recycling or plastic bag recycling. Just really be cognizant of it. I know you might think, oh, I just want to get rid of this stuff. I agree with you, but we also want to turn that 35% recycled into 87% recycled. So it's due diligence on our parts. So just keep this in mind for any kind of plastic films that you're creating. They cannot be recycled at home. Okay, and then finally, a burned out CFL bulb as an example. Specifically with CFL bulbs, they have mercury in them. Mercury is a hazardous waste. And so there's some products that we use that are considered hazardous waste, and we need to take them to a very specific processing facility. So hazardous waste in general is just any substance that can cause harm to humans, or if released into the environment, can harm the environment, can harm water, can harm other organisms, can harm the air. And you and I actually create a lot of hazardous waste that we may not think of as hazardous waste. When we think of that term, we're like, whoa, that's going to kill us. Some of the stuff can, but some of the stuff isn't really about us, it's about other organisms. And what's really cool is that you and I could actually take all of our hazardous waste to the Shady Grove transfer station. Not only is that where trash trucks go to drop off their waste, but that is also where us as residents of Montgomery County can go to drop off our hazardous waste. You can also drop off things like recycling there as well. They have bins for everything. So let's talk about some of the items that the hazardous waste drop-off can take. So scrap metal items, for example, old fridges, old stoves, different types of light bulbs, so fluorescent light bulbs, LED, LCD bulbs, these can't go in your trash can. The old style incandescent ones, if you still have those can be trashed, but these new technologies take advantage of different metals that aren't safe in the environment. Different electronics. You can take your old TVs, laptops, batteries. I take my old cords there, things that stop working, old thumb drives I take there. They do recycling there. They will take apart these items to get those metals to use again. Batteries. Batteries are interesting. So any kind of rechargeable battery needs to be taken there. This isn't just like your AA batteries, but also phone batteries, laptop batteries. However, alkaline batteries, these are your typical one-time use AA, AAA, D batteries. Those can be trashed. It's everything else, every other type of battery that needs to be recycled through hazardous waste. If you're like, I don't know what they look like, if you look at your AA batteries, they will say usually lithium or alkaline. Alkaline, throw away. Lithium, you're going to do hazardous waste drop off. All right, printer ink. That's hazardous waste. Any kind of liquid that goes or comes out of your car, such as oil, antifreeze, yeah, that's all I can think of right now. Those can go to the hazardous waste drop-off. Paint. And then I have this quote, chemicals. So cleaning sprays, random things you find, those can all go into the hazardous waste, and it is all free. I personally have a box that I kind of keep tucked away in a closet, and anytime I have hazardous waste, I just put it all in there. And then once that box gets filled, then I take a trip to Shady Grove. So don't think like, oh, I'm not going to do a trip to Shady Grove to throw away this one thing of printer ink. Don't. Make it easier for yourself. Do a collection box in your household. Do a collection box at your workplace so that you're not having to take it every single trip. All right, so we have covered the 5 different ways that you can get rid of goods here in Montgomery County. And then we talked about lots of examples of other products that can also be disposed of in that same way. But I also want to make a note that we're talking about the end of the life cycle. We're saying, okay, here's what you do at the end. But what would be really great is that here in the US, if we didn't create 262 million tons of waste a year, it would be great if we had 200 million tons, 100 million tons. Our first goal should be to reduce. You have probably heard of this idea of reduce, reuse, recycle. Maybe you haven't really thought about it, but it's listed in order of what we should be doing. We don't have to worry about where to throw away our waste if we didn't make it in the first place. Reduce that waste. Use items that you can use over and over again. This isn't always possible. A banana. I'm not going to tell you, you need to eat that banana peel. Like, please don't. That's not good for you. So we reduce first. Get rid of that product. Don't use that plastic bag to begin with. But let's say you had to use that plastic bag. You totally forgot about your bags. Okay, well, instead of just throwing it away right off the bat, reuse it. I personally reuse my plastic bags in my small trash cans. I've actually gotten to the point now where I hoard plastic bags from other people because I've gotten really good at using my canvas bags for grocery shopping. But I still have these little tiny trash cans everywhere. So reuse things first. And if you've tried to reduce and you've tried to reuse, then at least try to recycle it. By recycling, I mean, hazardous waste drop-off, composting, recycling. And then I've added one up here, discard responsibly. Just if you have an item such as old paint, don't trash it. At least discard it responsibly. Take it to hazardous waste drop-off. So just keep in mind that this is an order, and this is the order that we should be striving for in the first place. So with that, we have talked about the trends in the waste production in the United States, how we currently recycle and compost 35% of our trash, but that number could be a whole lot higher. And then we talked about here in Montgomery County, what can we do with styrofoam cups, with old light bulbs, with our plastic bags, with coated cartons. And these are really important things to keep in mind in your own households and in your workplaces and at your friend's house. Try to instill these principles to everyone because this is incredibly important to our everyday lives, and these are decisions we make every single time we have a piece of waste. Our waste doesn't have to go to a landfill. Our waste doesn't have to be wasted. We can prevent making it in the first place, and if we make it, we can at least get rid of it in the most environmentally sound pattern.